Our obsession with bathing goes back to the dawn of mankind. Fast forward thousands of years and even this rock pool behind me became an instant man-made attraction when it was dynamited into existence a century ago during the early days of Sorrento's rich history. A great bathroom, just like this rock pool, is a sanctuary. It's where the mind and body goes to prepare itself for the day ahead, or where we go to cleanse ourselves from the demands of everyday life. Well, our bathrooms will be just that, a brass, stone and timber-clad escape for the weary traveller. It's said that a person's home is their castle, and two of the cornerstones to our castle will be the bathroom and the ensuite. Carefully selected tiles, Turkish marble, recycled timber and Roger Sala fittings will be the crowning jewels to these domains, all working in unison to harmoniously create the ultimate feeling of luxury. Although, if you thought the process to creating these bathrooms was quick or easy, then you'd be dreaming, because this very long process has a complex order of events, and the very start of this domino effect is the screed. A fluffy mixture of sand and cement and a sprinkling of water is enough to activate this concrete formula into the base of our showers. And while this screed is still wet, the fall is carefully crafted for the water to run down into the drain. After 48 hours needed for these shower bases to cure to hardness, the waterproofing can begin. 2 thick blue waterproof coats are painted directly onto the wet areas. And with another 48 hours required to let this cure, it's nearly a week of preparation and curing time before our tiler can start tiling. And it's these tiles from Urban Edge in Richmond, with their appearance reminiscent of a patchwork quilt of denim, that reveals a curious insight into the world of designers, who often use their own emotions to embed feelings into their products.
We chose this tile by Inga Senpai purely because it was very relaxed, it's casual, it's neither masculine or feminine, and it's a little bit playful as well. With all the little line drawings and sketches, it kind of took us back to our childhood.
I think that's got a lot to do with who Inga Senpai is. She's a Parisian designer. She doesn't come from a background of standard interior designs. She's basically, her art background is in sketching. A lot of what she does is based on innocence. Her personality is very sensitive, it's very bird-like. So you find that comes through in a beautiful way in her tiles as well. Her products are using both movement, as in the texture and the softness of the surface of the tile, as well as that wonderful pencil stroke innocence of the design. It's an expression of the way that she feels about design. Gentle, linear, delicate, beautiful, beautiful characteristics.
With a beautiful home being likened to a giant art-like sculpture, it's through a use of design aesthetics, materiality and texture where powerful human emotions come to life.
So we create a sculpture so that people in every day can live in it and actually will enhance the way they feel. And this is all done by choice of materials. Choice of materials, depth of tone, all of these are put together basically to create the strong emotion. And once you've achieved that correctly, what happens is you walk into a space and you go, wow, this looks incredible. But more than that, it feels good. And this is the X factor. It feels correct. And this is not something you can do in a conceited way. It's something that you have to tune into your emotion with.
Although the emotion of these soft and innocent tiles will not stand alone, because they will be met with antiqued burnished brass, mineral cast basins and stoneware from the Roger Cellar showroom to balance and complement their characteristics. With our interior designers in store, seeing and experiencing each of the pieces selected for our home would help us to crystallise the end look of our bathrooms. With modern luxury akin to the ever-increasing refinement of finishes and profiles, it's the use of new composite technologies that are becoming ever more popular in modern bathroom design.
The bath is so beautiful, it's freestanding, and again the materials that this is made from is similar to the basin material, so it has an acrylic and some mineral properties and a resin through it.
And that's why it's warmer as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it feels so soft and beautiful, yet it still feels like it's got weight to it.
This is day spa quality, really. what you're looking at.
Absolutely.
And it's this Apaiza stone bath, found in many luxury resorts around the world, that will be complemented by timeless brass tapware, being Roger Cellar's own Australian-designed Pinch collection.
It's really nice to find a good Australian story like this that is incredibly beautiful and really considered.
It's this exploration of ideas, led by Melbourne-based designers like Nick, who more often draw from aesthetics, tactile sensations and engineering distinctive to cultures from across the world.
And I think these kind of cultural kind of things influence the design. So, for example, German technology and efficiency. We're using cartridges and aerators and flow restrictors. Japanese, simplicity and this kind of calming environments is kind of something that we try to bring into the bathroom. But mostly, I guess, the influence is in Italian design, so that largely kind of influences the aesthetic and style.
And it's this concept of beauty in modern bathroom design that is best described as the balancing point between curves and clean lines, shaped through minimalism and best experienced with the sensation of touch, altogether tempered by a timeless elegance that is intuitive to the beholder.
You know when you see something that is beautiful and timeless. So in a bathroom, less is best, but products that also nurture the soul and give you a feeling of wellness, a feeling of reward, a feeling of relaxation. These are products that when you touch them and feel them, they make you feel good. And these are very subjective feelings, but they're very real.
Permeating all timeless design is the story behind a material that creates a depth of character and a meaning. These soggy lumps of timber might look rather sad now, but it's their age and their story as the rafters and the flooring to our little old beach shack that were once the bones to this now bygone architectural icon that will now be the century-old, perfectly imperfect pieces reborn as the soul to these rooms. Needing a little bit of love and with some patience and muscle, they are denailed off-site. And after a short trip, they are offloaded at the local recycling yard to be cleaned and thickness to size. Operating this mill for 2 decades, Nick's worked a lifetime with old timbers like these.
These old roof beams are silver top ash and yellow stringy bark. They were predominantly used throughout the builds in Melbourne, right through from the 1920s through to today, even still used today.
It's these silver top ash roof beams, with also our Tasmanian oak flooring and all of the history behind their rusted nail holes and battle scars, that will serve to create a story that warms our bathroom spaces, which is becoming a highly prized feature in modern architecture.
The top end of the homes are looking at bench tops, flooring, decking, large big beams for trusses, and they yield a much higher price. And it's what a lot of people these days are looking for.
Although the decades of age to these old timbers is a mere drop in the ocean when compared with the millions of years worth of prehistoric force needed to crystallise once sedimentary minerals and limestone rock into this Turkish marble. After being carefully lifted into position, a robotic wet saw glides through this stone with ease, as it cuts each of the bench tops and splashbacks to size.
Well, look at the veining of the stone, as I said, well, characteristics, it's got plenty of character in it, that's for sure. It's a beautiful stone, and it's consistent throughout, which is good. It looks nice, and it's good to work with.
These slabs, with their beautiful veining and limestone fissures, will add another design layer to these bathrooms. But it's not just these bathrooms getting all of the attention, because the kitchen too will be the other prized centrepiece to our home.
1, 2, 3, look. Hang on. Good there, Troy. Good there, Troy. Straight down. Fingers. Straight down, straight down.
Good job, guys.
And it's these colours and natural elements that now form impressive focus points in these spaces. With the stonemasons working together as one, each of the pieces are carefully lifted and fitted into position. Our other natural element, being timber, now back from the recycling yard, was ready to be made into our benches by local carpenter Chris Clark.
Yeah, get the grains to work with each other, otherwise have it all running the same way, it can either bow a particular direction. Mind you, this stuff's pretty stable now, so I wouldn't think it'd be a problem, but you always look at that.
As each of these pieces are carefully selected, they are cut to size before being glued, biscuit joined and clamped together.
The biscuits really, all they're going to do is when the two timbers push together, is keep them level like that. So we could have just glued it as without the biscuits, but it doesn't make the sanding process much easier and keep it all flatter.
With a final sand and a gentle natural wax applied to these bench tops by Dad, they are soon complemented by our old Tasmanian oak flooring. Recycled too, the tongues and grooves of these dressed pieces are clicked together and nailed as the feature cladding to these bathroom walls. After this order of operations was complete, the plumbers were back, this time to install our fixtures and fittings. This 140 kilo luxury Apaiza stone bath would be the only slight challenge, as its super smooth, beautifully curved finish meant it needed a 4-man team to get it into position. The other Roger Salla selected pieces would very easily slip in and twist on too. With the site now abuzz with trades as our construction nears its end, the last of the fit-off commences. With the window screens the last to clip in, the kitchen appliances are fixed in too, along with the other final pieces to this giant jigsaw puzzle, all needing to be double-checked and polished to perfection. design of a garden is no longer just a space made up of white picket fences, roses and lawn. Instead, it's a necessary counterbalance designed to complement the architectural look and style of every home. And with our home likened to the look of a rusted steel ship that's been washed ashore on this prehistoric coastline, just 450 metres from our home, our garden design would emulate this landscape in the most playful of ways. With our landscaper back, pushing and pulling this dirt around to shape something that resembles sand dunes would be the start of our voyage, as it's these shapes that would become our new garden beds. With the fences next to go in, rough sawn hardwood battens would make for a rustic beach theme, while a splash of dark paint would help to camouflage the existing paling fences. Applying colour to the rest of the land would be left to our hard work and muscle power, as my family and I wrestled this barren ground and the last of our budget into a fully finished landscape, worthy of our new home. To shape these garden beds, timber boxing would snake across the ground, forming the outline for a sheet of protective weed mat to be unfurled. And once tucked into these beds, a golden sand-like topping would be spread over these now fabric mounds to create our coastal dune look. This same boxing method would also be used to form the driveway, except its base this time would be made of steel reinforcement instead of cloth, and its finish would be a collection of beach pebbles immortalised in concrete. With gumboots and shovels at the ready, the Stylescapes team would corral the last two concrete trucks of the construction, and once poured, the furious pace of screeding and troweling would shape this creamy concrete mixture into a carefully contoured surface. Cushion bush, chalk sticks, stiper and moona trees, all indigenous species, and all known for their ability to flourish in this tough coastal landscape, quickly rest into position. The other rugged plant, tempered by its soft green leaves and vibrant pink flowers, would be the iconic Carcalla. And it would be a befitting namesake for our new home. Its growth would soon become a succulent green carpet that covers these dunes and would link to a belt of soft grass that's unrolled wheelbarrow loads at a time and cut to shape around these now flowing curves. A final hose not only soaks these plants in for life, but moreover, it's a symbolic cleansing that signifies the end of the landscaping and the finishing line that is now within sight for our new home. This is a moment I've dreamed about since we first started the demolition. The bath is hot, the windows are open and a cool breeze is in the air. It's those simple pleasures that bring us the most joy in life. This undoubtedly is that time in the project when you also start to taste the fruits of all of your hard work, And it's when the end result makes all of the stress from construction feel worth it. The finish line is now in sight, and very soon our home will be completed. Next week, we're off to find the furnishings for the home. Our building surveyor is back for the final inspection, and our story draws to a close.